Welcome back. So this is going to be a knee-friendly legs Pilates workout. So I messed up my knee the other day while lifting and I got my PR, but I felt some pain in my knee. So, you win some, you lose some. But today is supposed to be my glute day in my weightlifting routine, but I'm taking it easy until my knee feels better. So I put together this routine for everyone having a little trouble with their knees. So it's easy on the knees, but so effective for the glutes and legs. All right, so we're gonna warm up a little bit, warm up the spine and see where we're at in terms of how much weight feels good on our knees. So I like to do a classic cat-cow and also do some circles with the spine just to really warm everything up. And then once you feel ready, let's go ahead and get down on our mat. However feels comfortable if your knee is anything like mine. Okay, so our first exercise is going to be a classic side lying leg lift. So go ahead and pike your legs out at an angle so that your toes are touching the corner of the mat. This gives your hips a bit more room and helps you lift your leg a bit higher. And in doing so, you're recruiting more muscles, thereby making it a more effective exercise. So we're just going to go up and down, keep it at this pace for a little bit longer. So feel free to stay up on your elbow, but if it feels better, go ahead and lay down on your side. All right, next we're transitioning into the hot potato. This is actually one of my favorite Pilates exercises, maybe because of the name, but also because it's really fun and really effective. So what it is, it's a double tap in front, then a double toe tap with your foot behind you as well. So that's where the power of this exercise is going to come from, and that is what is going to make you feel it in your glutes rather than anywhere else in your leg. All right, let's take a little bit of a breath and then we're going right into a classic leg sweep. So bring your leg to the front, then sweep it back. And important here, try to keep your leg hip height to feel it more in your hips and your glutes instead of feeling it in your back or elsewhere in your body. And also go ahead and keep your hand in front of your chest to help stabilize you. You can go ahead and press into the mat there with your hand, and that's going to help you from really rocking back and forth and losing sort of the stability that you need for this exercise. And I have my dog sleeping right behind me, so I'm trying not to tap her with my foot, but try to keep your leg at the same level the entire way through this exercise. And then we're not stopping. Oh no, we're jumping right into L lifts. So if this is too hard on your knee, it definitely was for me, go ahead and do a bent L leg lift, maybe like a cursive L lift. I don't know what letter that turns into, but initiate this movement with your hip and your glute just like you would if you were doing a regular L lift. So this one you will definitely feel it, especially after the previous exercises and especially without taking a rest. So this is one of my favorite Pilates exercises, and the modification is actually just as effective. So let's keep going. And an important note when doing Pilates, smile through it. It is so painful. Oh, but it feels so good. So just smile and keep going. All right, next up, let's bring both knees into a 90-degree angle out in front of us, and let's do some leg lifts, kind of clams, kind of open shell clams, if you will. So with this one, again, we want to keep our shape. We want to keep that angle, and we want to continue to lift, initiate this movement through the hip, through the glute. That is what should be powering this movement, not the foot, not the knee. So that's how you're going to really feel this exercise. Okay, we're jumping right into it. Next up, let's do some actual clams. Okay, so note here that your heels should be sticking together. So your range of motion here shouldn't be over exaggerated, nor should it be as big as the previous exercise. So this really helps to make sure you're working your glute rather than recruiting other muscles to really create this big open range of motion here. So this one burns, my friends. You didn't think you could get such a burn with a bum knee, huh? But that's the power of Pilates. So we're just gonna keep going. That's all we need to do. Keep going, you got it. If you need a little bit of a rest, go ahead and take one now, because we are jumping into some elevated clams. Yes, we're taking it up a notch. So note here the difference. My heels are coming apart, but my toes are staying together. So this works your glutes a bit more. It hits different muscles, it's hitting different angles, and this is also recruiting your hips and your thighs. So you're really gonna feel this one. If your knee is starting to bother you, go ahead, take a rest, maybe take it back to the clams on the floor, but whatever you do, keep going. And remember, breathe, friends, breathe. And I'm sure that you can tell that I am absolutely dying right now. It doesn't seem like a lot. That's the beauty of it. It doesn't seem like you're doing a whole lot, but once you start doing it, whew, it sure feels like a whole lot. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, pat it out, and let's move on. Alright, so this one is killer for the inner thighs. It's one of my favorite exercises, as most of these exercises are, but you may need to modify it if your knees are giving you trouble. So go ahead and bend your knee in front of you and keep your leg on the floor. So this exercise is also going to work your flexibility. If your leg isn't quite here yet, go ahead and bring your knee down lower, but try to bring your knee up so you have a better range of motion in your bottom leg. So go ahead and find what works best for you. And then what we're gonna do is flex your foot, and then you're gonna lift your leg. So lead the lift with your heel. So your heel is leading the movement. It should be the first thing going up. And again, this kills the inner thighs. And even with a hurt knee, it is so effective. And then we're gonna finish it out here with a variation. So point the toe and continue your lifts. Point hard, point all the way through the toe. Feel all of those muscles in the leg flexing and lift. We are almost there, my friends, almost. Keep going. All right, so we have one last exercise on this side, then we're repeating all of this on the other side. So this one is a bit of a rest, but we're gonna go ahead and jump into the classic glute bridge. Classic Pilates move, very effective, good for your legs, good for your back, good for kind of all parts of your body. This is a whole body exercise, and it feels like a stretch as much as it feels like an exercise. All right, quick water break, and then let's get right back into it, friends. We have the other side to hit, and then you are done. So let's go ahead and pike your legs to the corner of the mat, and let's work on those leg lifts. When doing the leg lifts, height isn't really important. It shouldn't be your priority when doing these exercises. So height is a combination of strength, coordination, and flexibility. So it will come to you in time after you continue doing Pilates on a consistent basis. So if your leg lifts aren't as high as you see right now, don't worry about it. Do what feels good for you. Do what is working your body. All right, moving on, hot potato time. So it's tap, tap to the front and then tap, tap to the back. So you're gonna lift it high. You really wanna pull up on the lift, but you wanna keep it controlled and strong. Control in Pilates is one of the things that you should focus on in all of your exercises. You want to initiate everything from the core. And so on these leg lifts, you really want to be going from the hips, from the core, more so than any other part of your body. And believe it or not, this side is already burning, already burning, but we're gonna finish it out. All right, no rest, and let's jump into those leg sweeps. So sweep it to the front and then sweep it all the way back. Slow, controlled, and hip height. All right, the beast, the L lifts. So keep your leg out in front of you and let's get some lifts in. So honestly, I overestimated the difficulty of doing this right after the other exercises, and I did feel a little bit of a pull on my other knee. So I modified it. Go ahead, do the same if you need to, but otherwise keep that leg straight and lift. So if you can do it, go ahead, hit that straight leg L lift. Otherwise, bend your knee with me and let's burn it out. Yeah, so I tried to finish this out with some straight leg L lifts, but oh wow, that was quite difficult. All right, so let's move on to our bent leg lifts. So go ahead and keep your knees in front of your hips and keep those knees bent at a 90-degree angle. And also you can play with your foot position here. You can try some lifts with your toes pointed and try some with your feet flexed. Just that little difference in foot position is going to work different muscles. So go ahead and try both variations, see which one works best for your body right now, and let's hit it. And when I tell you that I am in pain right now, I'm sure you can read it on my face, but this is no joke. And also, like, imagine if you were doing this with ankle weights. Are you doing this with ankle weights? Maybe next time you should try it with ankle weights and tell me how it works out. Because I'm sure even like 3-pound ankle weights would be killer. All right, wasting no time, moving on to clams. So keeping constant tension in your muscles is what's really going to give you that burn that you're looking for. So go ahead and really make sure that your leg is engaged at the top and the bottom of this exercise. So let's keep going with those clams. If you're feeling it like I'm feeling it, go ahead and lay your head down if you feel like you need to. Go ahead, play with your positioning here. Do whatever you need to do to make it through this exercise. You got it. If you're feeling good, if you're still with me, let's get into our elevated clams. So remember, these ones, go ahead and keep your toes together, and it's the same movement as before. Go ahead and press it out. Keep constant tension on those legs, on those muscles. That's what is really going to give you that workout, that burn. All right, so friend, let's take a moment. Tell me, how are you? How's life? How are things going? What's new? Let's get our mind off of what's going on right now. Let's focus on something other than the burn here because I am going through it. Yep. Yep, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. So, okay, we are almost to our last exercise, but let's go ahead and hit those inner thighs. So, go ahead, bring that leg in front of you. If your knee can handle it, then go ahead and keep that leg bent and upright. If you need to, go ahead and lay it down. Either way, let's go ahead and do our inner thigh leg lifts. So, flex your bottom foot and lift with your heel. And again, if this is messing with your knee, either one of your knees at this point, go ahead and lay that leg down and keep the lift going. All right, so let's point our feet and keep going with our inner leg lifts. So pointing your feet here, you want to point, but you still want to lead this movement with your heel. And oh my goodness, I'm just dying. I'm dying over here. I don't know about anybody else. Let me know at what point you almost lost it during this exercise because oh yeah, I think I've surpassed that point by now. But a few more seconds with this, and then we're gonna go ahead and switch to our back. So let's just get those last lifts in because those glute bridges are right around the corner. Stick with me, friends. All right, glute bridges. Finally, this is our last exercise for this routine. So let's go ahead, get on our backs, neutral spine, and let's hit those bridges. So play around with your foot positioning here. A 90-degree angle when you're doing your glute bridges is what's going to work the glutes. When you angle your feet out a bit more, that's going to hit the glutes as well. So decide what muscle you want to focus on, whether you want to focus on your quads, your hams, or your glutes here, and then just let's pulse it out. So as we reach the end of our exercise, let's go ahead and stretch it out a bit. So in our bridge position here, go ahead and try to touch or grab your ankles or feet. So really move through your back in this position, and do mind your knee. If this is too much for your knee, don't worry about it. But let's move a little, release that tension in your back, in your core, in your glutes, and move however feels good here. And then just to finish it out, I'm gonna take some mermaid stretches, but minding my knee, I'm not sitting as deep as usual. If you and your knees are feeling up to it, go ahead and really get a deep side bend here, but otherwise just do what feels good. So we're doing one side and then we'll go ahead and flip over to the other side. I hope you enjoyed this workout and thank you so much for working out with me. If you felt the burn during this workout, go ahead, like and subscribe for more.